Ngayong isa-isa nang nagsusulputan ang mga kakandidato sa 2022 elections, panahon na para kilalanin ang mga pagpipilian ng mga botante. Isa sa inaasahang tatakbong senador ang kilalang TV presenter na si Raffy Tulfo. Matapos ang higit 2 dekadang career sa broadcast, nagpaalam si Tulfo sa kanyang public service program. Formal siyang naghain ng COC nitong weekend. Matatandaang nanguna si Tulfo sa pinakabagong senatorial survey ng Pulse Asia. Noong Hunyo, nasa pang-apat siya sa ranking ng senatorial preferences, kasunod ni na Senator Pacquiao, Mayor Isko at Mayor Inday Sara. Pero sa kasunod na Pulse Asia survey nitong Setyembre, naungusan na ni Tulfo ang ibang tinitingnang posibleng kakandidato. At kaugnay niyan, makakapanayam natin ngayon. First time niya dito sa CNN Philippines, si senatorial aspirant Raffy Tulfo. Good evening. Okay lang ba? Is it okay if I call you Raffy or would you like Mr. Tulfo?
Okay lang. Yeah. Raffy is okay. Raffy. Good evening.
Okay, thank you very much, Raffy, for joining us tonight. So, wow ha, you tied with Alan Cayetano ranking 1 to 2 sa Pulse Asia September 6 to 11, and then like we said earlier, no, yung June survey ranking nyo is 3 to 6. What do you attribute this to? Is it your, some people say your brand of public service, your brand of justice, getting things done, your popularity dahil kilala ka, no? You're a TV personality.
Pangalawa nang siguro, PA, yung popularity, I think it's more of yung tiwala ng taong bayan sa akin, yung tiwala ng mga tao na malapit sa akin para idulog ang kanilang mga problema na mabilis ko naman na-actionan. So, hindi natin pwedeng lokohin yung mga tao. Alam naman talaga nila kung ano yung taong nagsisilbi sa kanila ng tunay o nagsisilbi-silbihan lamang. In my case, nakita nila na talagang merong sincerity ako sa pagbigay ng solusyon sa kanilang mga problema, sa pagpakinig sa mga idinudulog nila sa akin.
Okay, so parang the idea that you get things done, yung tinatawag na brand of justice of Raffy Tulfo, is that it?
Yeah, another thing that I would like to point out, Pia, kasi RTIA is a product of a broken system in government. Marami kasi mga maling sistema na hindi maganda na nangyari sa gobyerno. Kaya yung mga tao, sawang-sawa na pagod na sa kalalapit sa mga gobyerno, sa mga taga-gobyerno na pinaikot-ikot lamang sila, that's why they come to me. Now, kung maayos sana ang pamamalakad ng ating mga taga-gobyerno, hindi na nila kailangan ng RTIA, hindi na nila kailangan ako.
Okay. It seems to be na parang you're so focused on that, na para bang ang gusto mong gawin is to help people, to get them the justice they deserve as far as you're concerned, to address their needs right away. Is this something that you will do, that yung gagawin mong batas? What are you going to do to, like you said, kasi you want to help people, you want to protect them. So what is it as a senator that you can do for them if you do get elected?
Okay, thank you, Pia, for that question. Now, ang advocacy ko ay tatlo, Pia. Ito yung araw-araw na mga problema na inkwentro ng aking action center na nakakausap ko na binibigyan ko solusyon, OFW, labor, and family. So, dyan talaga magiging center ng aking advocacy, ng aking legislation to make sure na darating yung time na yung RTIA ay hindi na kailangan. Kumbaga maging paso na because makapagpasa na ako before the end of my term kung papalarin na mga komprehensibong mga legislation that would really solve all these problems na inilapit sa akin na mga complainants ng OFW, labor, and family.
Alam mo, Raffy, siyempre yung candidacy mo or yung magiging candidacy mo and you're having filed a COC and you yourself as a personality, you are not without controversy. You're a very controversial guy. There are a lot of people who say good things about you. There are a lot of people who say bad things about you also. And I'm sure you know that, no? And then lately, napapansin ko, if you search your name on social media, there's a lot there about people canceling you. Alam mo na yon, di ba? Yung kina-cancel ka, yung nag-unsubscribe sa YouTube channel mo. What is that all about?
Okay, well, first of all, yung pag-unsubscribe nila, yan Pia ay isang option sa YouTube na available doon sa mga tao na ayaw na mag-subscribe sa isang channel for whatever reason. So I think these people are just practicing that option or using that option. Now, nagkaroon kasi ng misinformation tungkol sa nasabi ko sa isang pronouncement ko sa aking programa. Pinag-aaway lang ako nitong mga taga-DDS na dati naman, member din ako ng DDS. Siguro hindi na nagustuhan ang tunay talaga nilang reason kung bakit. I think it's not about ABS-CBN. I think it's about they thought me running against the president as VP ni Senator Manny Pacquiao na hindi naman totoo. At doon nag-umpisa yung galit nila, doon nag-umpisa yung pagbabash nila, doon nag-umpisa yung pagpapakalat nila ng mga maling impormasyon.
Okay. All right. I have a few questions, Raffy, before we go to a break. No, of course, pag senador ka, hindi ka naman part ng executive branch of government, and therefore you cannot really run government, and you will be able to, implement policy, for example. But of course, the biggest question today is how the next administration, how the legislature in the next administration will be handling or will want to see the health crisis handled differently. Because of course, ang pinag-uusapan, balancing lives and livelihood and lockdowns. No, how do you want to see the health crisis, the pandemic managed better?
Okay, let's talk about the future, Pia. Sa ngayon, nakikita natin maraming mga maliliit na kumpanya, small business and medium enterprises na nagsarahan. Kasi yung ating economy ngayon, if you remember, if you know, na based on what we call is yung consumer-based economy. Yan ay dahil umaasa, nakasandal yung ating ekonomiya sa mga remittances ng ating mga OFW. At nakikita mo naman, marami sa ating mga OFW na papauwi na. So, pag ako'y nasa Senado, I will introduce legislation na para magkaroon tayo ng konting shift going to a production-based economy. At ano yung production-based economy? Napakayaman piya ng ating bansa sa natural resources. Nandiyan yung coconut, nandiyan yung cacao, sugar, banana, and so many other agri-products na bakit natin hindi i-develop yan. So I would come up with legislation na to encourage companies, corporation na mag-invest sa ganitong klaseng endeavor, corporate incentive, tax incentive na mabibigyan sila. That way it will generate employment and at the same time it will generate revenue for our country.
Corruption, of course, systemic. It's like a given already dito sa Pilipinas. What would be, again, syempre, lawmaker ka, no? But what kind of strategies would you like to see in the next administration to really combat corruption? Yung parang matapos na talaga ito. And would you, for example, in the future, merong erring official, no? Would you like to see them reappointed or would you like to see them fired?
Well, of course, I would like to see them fired. First of all, I would like transparency in government. Yan kasi naiinkwento ko ngayon na problema even in my line of work kapag ako'y tumatawag sa mga iba't ibang ahensya ng gobyerno para ilapit yung tulong ng mga lumalapit sa akin, mga kababayan natin, walang transparency. Nagtatago sila. Kuminsan, pag tinatanong ko, bakit hindi na-action itong problemang ito, tinatago nila. Ayaw nilang sabihin kasi sinasabi nila, kailangan pa sabihin sa mas nakakataas. Yung pala, yung mas nakakataas, may utos sa kanila na wag magsalita dahil may nangyari ng kabalastugan. So when I get there sa Senate, then I will introduce legislation na magkaroon ng transparency in government, more transparency.
Can you specify exactly how that's going to happen? Like what kind of a bill would allow more transparency in government?
Sa ngayon kasi, halimbawa, meron tinatawag na privacy data law na hindi ka pwedeng manghimasok sa mga pamamalakad o ginagawa ng mga taga-gobyerno because they will always say that to you na bawal yan. Hindi naman sinasabi sa batas. Example, SALN. Ngayon, isang may usapin yan na hindi pwedeng ilabas yung SALN, sa President, Vice President, at kung sino-sino pang matataas na opisyal sa ating gobyerno, at mismo yung ombudsman nagsabi niya na bawal. Bakit bawal? Pag inanungkulan ka sa gobyerno, dapat ready ka na i-open ang iyong salin, i-open ang iyong kayamanan. Nung pumasok ka, dapat ito yung pera ko. Ngayon, nasa palagitnaan ng pagservisyo ko, ito pa yung pera ko. Paglabas ko, ito pa yung pera ko. Na kapag pasok mo, ito yung pera mo. Paglabas mo, ang laki ng pera mo, then there's something wrong. So dapat there's transparency. Dapat yung salin ng kahit sino man, mula presidente hanggang sa pinakamababang ranggo ng elected officials sa gobyerno, dapat ilantad yan sa publiko. Dapat nakikita ng publiko yung kayamanan ng mga taga-gobyerno.
Alright, well, nasagot mo na yung isang yes or no question natin, Ma'am Konti. But we have other questions for you. Raffy, Tulfo, please stand by. Like I said, marami pa kaming pag-uusapan ni Senatorial Aspirant Raffy Tulfo. Abangan yan dito lang sa News.ph. We'll be right back. News.ph sa CNN Philippines. Kasama pa rin natin ang batikang broadcaster at senatorial aspirant, the very controversial Raffy Tulfo. I was about to say Erwin. Yung kapatid niya kasi, naging co-anchor ko for a long time. But anyway, Raffy, before we go to the yes or no questions, just one last question. Yung yes or no pala mamaya, yes or no lang. You cannot explain. So, syempre, one of the most controversial programs of the Duterte administration, itong drug war, no, the anti-drug war. Are you in favor, in the next administration, are you in favor of another ironclad, no-nonsense anti-drug policy? You know, would you fight the war on drugs the same, or would you want to see the war on drugs fought the same way it was fought during this administration?
No.
No.
Yes.
Was that no?
Yes, no. Kasi marami na mamatay.
So, no, it's okay. Hindi naman yes or no question yan. You can explain. You can explain muna. So, you're saying na hindi pwedeng ganon ulit.
Kasi dapat this time magkaroon ng due process. Dapat ma-observe natin yung karapatang pantao ng kahit sino man, whether is a suspect or whether is a criminal. Meron din karapatan siya. At lalong-lalo na, wag dapat siyang pinapatay. At kung meron man problema sa isang addict, meron naman tayong mga tinatawag na rehabilitation centers na pwede natin sila iparehab.
Okay. Alright. So you're saying para bang we should take a medical approach also. It's a public health approach din dapat. Ganun ba?
Yes. Kasi ang nangyayari ngayon, Pia, pag na-identify lang ang isang taong gumagamit ng droga, kahit na hindi pa, delikado, nakakatakot, at baka merong mangyari na sa taong yun. Why don't we focus instead more on yung sa health issue, sa rehabilitation? Why don't we focus on that? How to treat these addicts na para magkaroon pa silang pag-asa magbago sa kanilang buhay, para sa kanilang pamilya.
Okay. Interesting to hear you say that. Okay, eto na yung mga yes or no questions. Like I said kanina, the question about the SAL-N, you already jumped into that earlier. So there are a few other yes or no questions. Again, like I said, no explanation, yes or no. Do you support lifting foreign ownership limits in the Constitution?
Yes.
Do you favor the reimposition of death penalty, the death penalty for drug-related crimes?
No. Can I add a little bit? Because only the poor are the ones who are convicted. Because the rich people, they get away with it most of the time. Pag may pera ka, natatakasan mo. Pag yung pulubi na walang pera, yun talagang palagi nadidiin. Yun palagi ang nabibiktima. Well, not really victim. Sila talaga yung palaging nakukulong. Kahit na walang kasalanan, nakukulong sila. At sila yung nabibitay.
Okay.
Add a little bit.
Alright.
Meron and even in abroad, marami sa mga nasa death row at yung iba na sentensya at nabitay na later malaman-laman na inosente pala sila. Yan, Amerika yan na with all the technologies that they have and the kind of investigation that they have, still nakakalusot pa rin doon sa butas ng justice system nila na nakukunbik ang isang inosente at nalalagay sa death row. Just imagine dito sa Pilipinas, country tayo, we're way behind when it comes to investigative system. So, just think about that. Ruby palagi ang nakukulong. Yung mga yaman, nakakalusot.
Oo. Well, yeah, that's true. No? We have a lot of yung tinatawag na wrongful convictions also. This next question, although, President Duterte has said he's not running for VP, but well, we never know yet. But the question is, again, yes or no lang ang sagot. Should a sitting president be allowed to run for vice president in the next election? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Do you favor resuming peace talks with communist rebels? Yes or no?
Yes.
Should the country be more aggressive in protecting its maritime interests in the West Philippine Sea? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And my final question before I let you go, Raffy, and then before you give us some final words, no. You have a party list group, yung ACT CIS party list group. Your wife is one of the nominees, and together with Eric Yap, right? So.
Right.
Tatakbo ulit syempre ang ACT CIS, and then if you do get into the Senate, it's like para bang marami kayo, kumbaga, no, in elective office. What do you think of, syempre maraming batikos pag ganoon, senador, sa isang pamilya may senador, may congressman, may mayor, may party list, ganoon. What do you think of all of that?
Pia, ganito yan eh. Why should we let the people decide kung payag ba sila na senador ako at yung wife ko congresswoman, na kung ayaw na nila na magkaroon ng dalawang Tulfo sa politics, then wag nilang iboto ang isa sa amin or wag nilang iboto kahit na sino sa amin. Now, if they think na magiging capable kami, magawa namin yung aming trabaho na maayos para sa kabuti ng ating bayan at mamamayan, then vote for us. Ganun lang yun. Kailangan yung taong bayan ang mag-decide. Silang bahala mag-isip at mag-decide pagdating sa halalan kung kailangan bang iluklok ang katulad ko at kapamilya ko. It's all up to them.
Okay. And for my final question for you, Raffy, so right now, like we said, when we started, so ranking 1 to 2 ka sa survey, but this is the September survey, no? There's like how many months to go before the elections. So we don't really know how things will go, no? If you will still be within the top 12, hindi naman natin talaga alam, ano? What do you think, how are you going to feel if, for example, by some, stroke of, I don't know what, bad luck or something, biglang hindi ka, you don't make it, no? You don't get into the Senate. How would you feel about that?
Okay lang sa akin. So, ibig sabihin, ayaw ako ng mga botante. Ba't ko pagpipilitan ang sarili ko kung ayaw nila sa akin? So, no hard feelings.
Okay. Maraming salamat sa iyong oras. Raffy Tulfo, senatorial aspirant. Independent pala, no? Independent. Thank you very much for being with us tonight, Raffy.
Thank you for having me.
Susunod.